So today I'm going to be going over 10 of the strongest fragrances from 10 huge fragrance brands. So you've heard of all of these brands before, 100%. You probably own scents from all of these brands if you have any sort of collection going on. Maybe you don't own all of these in the video, but I think you should look into some of these if you want performance. If that's what you prioritize, these get the job done. Across the board with any designer or niche brand, they're going to have some overperformers and some underperformers. And so if you want to go for the ones that just last forever and give you crazy good projection and scent trail, these are going to really do it well. I'll drop links to these down below for you so you can pick these up at prices below retail. If any of these are rare or kind of hard to find, if you get on my mailing list or get on my text list down below, anytime something does come into stock, I do send out a notification. Hit the link, sign up there, or go for the number down there and send a text to that and you'll be added to that list as well. All right, let's get things kicked off with Carolina Herrera Iris Empire. So generally, a lot of their offerings on the more affordable end can be kind of just average performing. Not this one though, very strong. It's got chocolate, of course, iris, good dose of leather in here. The way I describe it is it's kind of like a mixture of CH Men Privé and DIOR Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, somewhat. So you get that nice, sweet, delectable iris accord in here. It's beautiful. But then you get a similar type of leather that they used in CH Men Privé, which has been discontinued. And even just a little bit of a slight boozy kick out of this one. And then this nice, rich chocolate. It's gourmand. It's addicting. It's powerful. This is one of my favorite iris scents. Unfortunately, it's a little bit expensive. It's up over $200 on discounters, but it's well worth it if you like this DNA and you like great performance. Next up, we have Armani Code Absolu. Unfortunately, this one is kind of joining the ranks of the other greats that have been discontinued. And so be on the lookout for this one. You're kind of running out of time here if you don't have a bottle yet or a backup if you choose to get one. Again, if you get on those lists down below, this one has popped up relatively recently and I've sent out notifications for it. So you do still have that chance to get one if you want. You just got to be on the lookout. It's definitely worth owning. I don't know why they're getting rid of this one because I think it's one of the very best in the entire Armani Code lineup. It's got vanilla, it's got suede, some tonka bean in here, a little bit of orange. It's beautiful stuff. It's a parfum concentration. It is crazy strong and I'm sad to see it go. Next up we have Gucci Intense Oud. Another one that obviously is going to be very strong. It's got oud, incense, and leather in here. And it kind of smells like a designer version of Nasamato Black Afghano, somewhat. And the reason why I say designer version is because it's simply a little bit more wearable, more digestible. Black Afghano is not going to be for everybody. I really like it. A lot of you guys probably like it as well, but this one is considerably easier to wear. It's going to be more mass-pleasing. You'll probably get your money's worth out of this one more. Now, Black Afghano is also incredibly strong. This one might not be as strong as that, but in terms of just designers in general, it is well above average. Great performance out of this one. It'll outlast you. EROS Parfum, really, at one point you could put any EROS in here, but with the reformulation kind of things that have been going on over the years, maybe not so much anymore. But at one point, all EROS fragrances have been beast mode. I think really the only one people say that about is the Eau de Toilette, I suppose, which at one point was one of the strongest designers out there. Seems like now that one's kind of a struggle. But the Eau de Parfum, Flame, Parfum, they're all really good, especially the Parfum. I think if you were to gamble on one being the strongest, I would go for this. It really is that EROS DNA, but just more refined. It's modernized. It's brought back to life. And they fixed the performance. Even the quality is kind of bumped up here. It's a little bit more expensive than the others, but it's well worth it. Go with something a bit newer. We have PACO Rabanne INVICTUS Victory Elixir. It's got olibanum, vanilla, and amber in here. So the Elixir flankers are in full force. I'm sure we could see that one coming from a mile away. And it's not going to be stopping. But this is really good. And, if I had to choose between the original Victory and this one, I guess it would depend. The original has a lot more of a dusty kind of benzoin going on. This one is sweeter and heavier overall. So and that kind of is a true elixir type of style of flanker. It's just heavier, stronger all the way around. It's not a parfum though. It's an eau de parfum intense. Still a great performer. And you could kind of come to expect that from PACO Rabanne at this point. One that definitely will not steer you in the wrong direction. It's going to have great mass appeal as well. Okay, next up we have DIOR Fahrenheit Parfum. Another one that can be a little bit hard to get sometimes, does pop up here and there, often on discounters. You know, you just got to be on the lookout for it, and you'll be able to get yourself a bottle if you want. Price point, they're usually around 120 or so, somewhere around in there. I don't officially know if it's discontinued or if it's just like other parfums like DIOR own parfum where they just don't offer them here in the US and Canada. Not fully sure, but it is worth seeking out. It's by far my favorite Fahrenheit flanker. It's really good. It's got the violet leaf, of course, but there's some rum, some suede in here. So it's a boozy take, it's a sweeter take, but it still has that freshness. It's a really nice balance. And it has great performance as well. One that does very good in both categories. Longevity, projection, even scent trail, it does it all. And here's my tiny little goofy looking bottle of MANCERA Tonka Cola. I love this stuff. It is probably going to end up becoming one of my favorite MANCERA releases. I think it's that good. Why the 60 ml? Because it's the only one I could get my hands on before it was readily available, you know, at retail and all that stuff. This one has popped up on Fragrance Buy quite a bit for below retail, like $112 for 120 ml, which is a great price considering it's still pretty new. So what's this one all about? Well, it has a lot of kind of a Coca-Cola note. Officially, that's what they have listed. You get a good dose of cherry in here, a lot of sweetness. To me, this is kind of their take on a Roja Creation E or Roja Enigma style of scent. Now, when you put those head to head, there are considerably more differences than similarities. So this is not a clone of that one. They're not all that similar, but it is kind of in a similar vein of having a bit of a sweet kind of fizzy cola booziness. It's kind of what this has, and it smells fantastic. No redundancy between them either. I would say the Roja is going to be a little bit more refined, a little bit more elegant. This one's going to be a little bit more playful, a little bit more sweet, you know, and maybe a little bit less mature smelling. I think the Roja, even Enigma, sometimes for some people can smell a little bit older school-ish, not older school, but more grown up and adultish. This one has a little bit more of a playful feel, which I really like. And there are different scenarios where you would choose to wear this over the Roja or vice versa. It's an eau de parfum, but it's got great performance all the way around. And again, this is going to become one of my favorites. Next up, we have Ferragamo UOMO Signature. Now, this one here has some leather and coffee, and then that original DNA, all of the tonka bean and sweet notes and everything like that. The original is very sweet and very strong. I think, you know, if you had to choose between one or the other, and you were asking me, which one should I get? I don't want to buy more than one. I just want one. I would probably tell you Signature. It's safer because they're knocking back some of that sweetness a little. Still very sweet, but the leather and the coffee does wonders for this DNA, and it really kind of just knocks it back and makes it a little bit more digestible overall. It smells fantastic. It's a great DNA with great performance, and it's affordable, right around $50. Bulgari Man in Black has been around for a while now. It's their take on Spice Bomb, essentially, if you wanted to call it that. And it's really a good, accurate representation. But with a twist, it has rum, boozy accords in here with that tobacco and the spices. So it smells more grown up. You know, it smells like Spice Bomb EDT, but 15 years later, you know. Maybe you're wearing, you know, Spice Bomb EDT when you're 20 or something like that. You know, you're going to college, you're going out to parties, to bars, and then when you're 35, you're settled down, you have family and a career, and you're just taking life more seriously, you would move up to something like Man in Black because it kind of fits with what stage you're in life right now. A little bit more refined, you're trying to take things more seriously. That's what this one has, but you still have a playful edge with it as well. So it's kind of a nice little variant to that Spice Bomb DNA. It does have great performance, no worries there. It's not as affordable as it once was. I don't know what's up with that, but you can still get it for a good price below retail, and it's worth it for wintertime. And last up for this video, we have Parfums de Marly Carlisle. Fantastic niche scent. Now this one, it's kind of hard to get below retail anymore because all of the discounters aren't carrying them below retail, except for Fragrance Buy, but then they sell out quickly. When Fragrance By gets these in, they're like $209, $210. At retail, I don't even know what they're going for. But I do know that Carlisle at retail is more expensive than the others at retail. Now, there's a clone out there you can get called Barouge Perlador. Highly recommended if you don't want to spend the money on Carlisle. But I'm just featuring this one for the sake of just featuring the real deal, I suppose. But there's nothing at all wrong with going for the clone. It is a great option. Has a lot of patchouli, a lot of vanilla. There's some balsam in here. A little bit smoky, very resinous, sweet. It's woody from this kind of Gaiac wood smell. There's something about this DNA that is so special. It kind of smells a little bit like MANCERA red tobacco, but nowhere near as potent and strong and tobacco-y and oody as that one. This is more refined to me, more smooth, just a different style. It'd be hard to choose between the two. I probably would have to pick Carlisle because I love this DNA. Again, something special, something unique about it. And again, it's expensive, but you do get great performance and great quality out of it. And for what it's worth, Perlador, great performance and great quality as well. So that's another option for you. You can't go wrong with either of those. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 of the strongest fragrances from 10 huge designer and niche brands. Again, you've heard of all these brands, but do you have all of these? Let me know down below, yes or no? And if you don't, which ones do you want to get next? I will drop links to these down below for you. And again, if any of these are out of stock or rare, hard to find right now, get on the mailing list, send a text over to that number, get on that text list as well. You'll get a notification straight to your phone anytime anything of these or just in general comes into stock that is worth picking up. Your DIOR parfums, La Nuit Bleu Electrique, things like that. It happens more often than you might think. I mean, these things will pop up and then they'll sell out within an hour, 45 minutes, half hour sometimes, very quick. So they'll come in stock and you just won't even know about it. You'll be at work, you'll be doing something else, and you think, well, they never come into stock at all. They're always out of stock. That's not true. They pop up oftentimes once a month, a couple times a month, every other month, pretty often, considering they're rare. You just got to be on the notification list so you can jump in. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.